This is our first video. My name is Tania, and I am honored to be able to spend time today with the writer, poet, and author, Adric, to talk about his writing career and his personal life. Hello, Adric, and thank you for having me.
Hello, darling, and thank you for joining me in this crazy adventure, allowing me to help my readers and my followers to get to know me a little bit more.
So, Adric, please tell us what inspired you to start writing, and when did you start writing?
I first began writing when I was 15 years old as a coping mechanism. It was my way to survive my pain, to release my fears, and to move past my tragedies.
So when did you realize that you wanted to be an author, and how did you become a published author?
I never actually realized that I wanted to be an author on my own until I met my English teacher in high school. She pushed me to submit my work. She helped me and taught me that my work was worth publishing. So I intended to publish it and submitted the manuscript several times, and it got rejected. So after several rejections, I realized that I still wanted to have my work published. So I self-published it, and after everything that I went through with it, I can say that it was totally worth it.
So how did the title of the book came to be?
It's pretty much the representation of the whole work within the book. It's about a process of wanting to put behind the past, the tragedies and the tragic past that I had to be put through. So I wanted to reinvent myself, to move past it, and The Remains of a Human pretty much meant that for me, and that's why that was the title I chose.
So how has life been ever since you became an author?
Well, it's been quite some time since I first published my book, almost a decade, and I can't complain. I honestly can't complain. It has been a roller coaster of emotions, but I have grown. I feel more mature. I don't feel as insecure or as damaged per se as I felt back then. So yeah, I can't complain. Life has been great.
And did you, or are you working in a new project currently?
Yes, indeed I am. My new book is actually coming out. It's a collection of poetry that I've been formatting since 2017. It's pretty much the story after the first book, where it left off, but in a different, complete formatted way, that it's a storytelling poetry rather than just poetry on its own. And then it includes illustrations that I made myself. I sketched them all because I wanted to scale up my level of creativity and market it the way it is or what's trending now. So it's gonna come out at the end of this month on April 25th, which is next Thursday. So it should be available on Amazon on softcover and also the Kindle edition.
Okay, Adric, so what is the title of your new book?
The title of my new book is Walking Towards Happiness. It took a couple of years for it to come to life. In the beginning, it was actually going to be In Time, but I decided that it wasn't a fitting name for it. It wasn't the intent I wanted to put as a title of my book, since it's a storytelling poetry from the darkest of my faces to my lightest faces, which is love. So I needed something saying, you know, I am in the darkness and I am doing everything I can to walk towards the happiness that everybody as a human being ever, you know, at some point in our lives feel that need of going further and looking for our happiness. So walking towards happiness, I feel it's just the perfect amount of right name and title for it.
That sounds exciting. Is this a storytelling poetry book, or what is the concept of it?
Yes, indeed it is. It includes 7 chapters from the darkest phases, which is darkness within. Couldn't be any darker than that. And then, that's pretty much everything that embodies of what I went through. It's pretty much the same thing, the same concept of my first book. The first chapter of this book is pretty much the same concept as my first poetry book, which was nothing but darkness, following by the desires and lusts. When we grow up, we're teenagers and we are experiencing our sexuality, going about how things are in the real life. And it's pretty much just desires and lust, getting lost and, just exploring. The third chapter is damnation, follow through, what society has to say, what family has to say, what everybody has to say about how you should do, who you should be, how you should act, how you should behave, and encountering all of that and then becoming a rebellious teenager. I encountered the fourth chapter, which is utter poetry. It's nothing but statements of who you are, like being true to who you are, remaining original, just going with it, not letting nobody judge you, not allowing nobody to tell you who you should be. And after that is chasing happiness, which is, somewhat of what the main book is about. It's, trying and failing, going from one relationship to the next, all these experiences, journeys, different paths that you take back and forth, learning what love is, what people see in you when they use you, when they actually love you, but then you don't. And, it's like a mess of feelings, a mixed feelings back and forth all over again about love, but never being the right fit. And after that is, it begins the story of my husband and me. I met him in 2014. And, he inspires me a lot to write. The 6th chapter is awakening. It's, like that wake up call when you meet that somebody that you are clueless and skeptical about it, whether it should be or whether it is not. And it moves forward and it's not expected and it just feels right. And then the last one is beating heart. It's like after going through so much in life, sometimes you become so harsh and you want to push everybody away. You want to stay away from love and you don't want nothing to do with it because of how shitty life has threatened you, and when you find the one and it makes your heart beat again.
Pretty sure a lot of people's gonna feel related with this. That's exactly how life is going to everybody.
And I hope that is for everybody, because this has been a complete different work for people to feel somewhat related to it, and they can relate to what life is, pretty much.
Okay guys, so now you know, and please don't forget to buy the book. It's coming out this Thursday. And Adric, thank you for sharing with us more of your writing career. It sounds really exciting. I hope it goes really good for you. And I hope you guys like it as much as I like it, because I've been reading a couple things and it's really, really awesome. And I'm so happy for you and I'm so proud of you and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.